was founded over 30 years ago in response to an incident with a UCD college. Had an incident on Lugnaquilla one winter time, and one life was lost that day. And at the time there was no mountain rescue team set up, organised in the county. And from then on, Glen of Imaal was founded by local farmers and has gone from strength to strength since then.
Okay, my name is Robert Power and I'm a member of the Glen of Imaal Red Cross Mountain Rescue Team. Can I just take you back 30 years? When I joined the team, we were walking out of the back of a Land Rover. It was at a time when we didn't have mobile phones, GPS systems. When a call came in, it was purely dependent on local knowledge, farmers. The car was usually found in a location, for example, it could be in the Rock Glen. The search was pretty much commenced from there, but the chances are it went on all night because we didn't have the gadgets that we have today, like to track them down. And I mean, where's out there, it could be anywhere. Joe Hastings set up a meeting in Fenton's in the Glen of Imaal, the pub, and out of that came the Glen of Imaal Mountain Rescue Team. Joe Hastings was a mountaineer. He'd done a lot of climbing in the Alps and in Scotland. He became the first team leader of this team, also the training officer and the equipment officer. On the 17th of October 1983 was the first operation that the team carried out. They were on exercise in Glendalough and they came across a French guy by accident. And also myself and Dr. Leach was involved in the operation, so I was effectively been at the cutting edge from day one. And in 1984 there was 3 to 4 call-outs, but it also sparked off a little bit of a problem with the Red Cross because we had used their logo, and there was a meeting set up in Dublin with Irish Red Cross. So rather than fight with them, we decided to join up with them, and that proved to be fruitful, that we now had training with first aid and manual handling and access to the insurance and stuff. They also had an old van as well, which we got to use for a little while. But before that, we were using private vehicles because we didn't have any team vehicles. Joe Hastings was a team leader for 4 years, and in those period of 4 years, we didn't have any mobile base. And John O'Reilly was the second team leader, which he'd done a further 3. So it was 7 years past before we actually got a control and command vehicle, which I was partly responsible for.
When I joined the team, I suppose we didn't have very much money, and but I think during that period that we got some very good personnel on board at that time that could basically see into the future. One of the team members headed off and I put in an order for the van.
So we purchased the van off of Interlink for £5,000, which we didn't have at the time, but the Red Cross were very good to us and they loaned us the money. So from that day forward, we had a mobile base.
I think that was really the start of it. It was also around that period, I'd say 2002, 2003, I think that we should get a base for ourselves.
The planning for the centre commenced around 2006. Between the Irish Red Cross and Wicklow Rural Partnership, they agreed to fund this community development project. We got substantial funding both from the Irish Red Cross and from Wicklow Rural Partnership. The team members themselves devoted considerable time to fundraising, running many events, and every year we have a major event, the Moonlight Challenge, which raises significant amounts of money to develop the team, to build the base and to replace our vehicles.
The Mountain Rescue Team were a local community active group, and I was just interested in becoming part of the community, and it was just part of the area of the outdoors life that I loved.
Well, I've been working in the mountains here since 2000 in the Wicklow Mountains National Park, and a lot of my colleagues were already part of the Mountain Rescue Team, and it seemed like a good thing to do. There was a genuine feeling of giving something back, but there was also lots of enjoyment to be had out of the Mountain Rescue Team. And I suppose because my friends were involved, because it looked like great crack, I decided that I'd like to be part of that.
I joined a while ago now, and I suppose similar to a lot of people in the team, was that if you do spend a lot of time in the hills, you realise there is a need for a service. I worked a lot with scouts and new club groups like that, and I saw that a lot of the time we had call for injuries and things in the hills, so that's kind of prompted my interest, and I knew people for a long time that were in the team, so that's why I joined, was to give back into the hills, because I spent a lot of time there.
I was into hill walking, and we had a prerequisite of having a mountain skills standard, so I met those standards, but today the team is in a completely different place. very professional team. Our qualifications are much higher, so I suppose I've evolved with the team, and the technical rescue would be my main area of interest, in ropes and rigging and anything on the side of a cliff or a rock, just rocks and boats.
I've been interested in the skills required or to progress and understand what it is to basically practice as part of a response team. I have other areas of interest which are basically in the Defence Forces and wanting to utilise those skills for public service really.
Well, I'd always been interested in mountaineering and mountains and being in the outdoors in general, and it seemed like a good way to not only give something back but to apply the skills that I had and to learn new skills too. And the social aspect of it as well was important to me.
Myself and Allegra fulfil the training role of the team, and our job is to look at both the standard and type of training that the team requires and to find courses or whatever we need to fulfil those requirements for the team. And it's to bring up the level of first aid within the team, both in terms of casualty care and the fact that if a team member may have an accident on the hill, because it's quite risky work that we do, that other team members will be able to look after them in the event of an emergency on the hill.
One of the things that has been a challenge for all of us on the team is adapting traditional street type medicine that there are widely available courses for in Ireland for use in the hills. Ireland and Wicklow in particular does have reasonably large wilderness areas where we can be waiting for quite a while for advanced medical care to arrive. So using skills from basic level up to an advanced level in a wilderness setting without the assistance of advanced equipment and advanced personnel, including doctors and paramedics, is often one of the challenges.
I qualified to a level of an EMT before approaching the team, and I've done some personal and continuous development outside of the team, but since being in the team they've done an awful lot with me, which has been brilliant. It's allowed me to progress.
And it's vital that everybody on the team attends training together so that we each know each other's skills, because literally our lives depend on one another. So if you turn up to a call out and there's someone with you and you don't know their capabilities, that's a very big leap of faith to put in someone, and I wouldn't be happy doing that, not in a rigging sense at least.
During my career in mountain rescue, I've trained in a lot of different aspects. From I'm currently training to be an EMT on the medical side, but I'm also on the Crag panel, the Swiftwater panel. But I've also been involved at high end operationally because I've been a team leader in the past. I've been chairman of the rescue team, so I've been heavily involved in the running of the rescue team. And currently I'm also involved in the administration of Mountain Rescue Ireland, the national organisation that represents all mountain rescue teams in Ireland. I'm currently vice chair of that.
I think as a role of training officer is that we, and it's kind of most of the teams are looking this way, is that we reach international standards so people can stand over the training that we give. So that we have, in terms of first aid, we have FEC, which is the Pre-Hospital Emergency Care Council, stand over the accreditation of that. From the rope work, they have different institutes to look over that as well. So everything we do, that there's a recognised independent assessment of our training, so we know that we're adhering to best practices in all the different areas.
From the moment the Garda Síochána activate our rescue team, the team leader's role is to evaluate the information that he's gotten from an informant, and from that he decides what kind of response is required to assist the people who are injured or lost in the mountains. That may mean tasking helicopters, it may mean tasking some local members to an area, or it may mean tasking the whole team.
And then we send out a team text then with the grid reference of where the base will be and where people are to go to. When everything is set up for the base, everybody comes to the van, they have to sign in, and then they're put into parties and they're given the party kit to go out onto the hill. And then it's radio log then, and it's just keeping in contact with all the different teams and the different parties to update us on where they are or if they have come across the casualty.
There are certain rescues that happen over and over again, which is a lower leg injury. A lot of people stumble on the way back, so we have a lot of lower leg injuries. But we have everything from cardiac emergencies. We've had young children on the way to places that have stopped breathing. We've had everything, you name it, we've had it.
So we deal with quite a wide variety and range of incidents, whether it's something like a suicide to somebody just been lost, or you could have incidents with children, young children, which can be quite distressful as well. responsibility of the team leader to make sure that the team is ready to go at a moment's notice. So that encompasses everything from equipment to training to everything that the team needs to be able to carry out an operation safely. And then actually on an actual call out, then you're responsible for the parties for deciding how the resources, various resources are going to be deployed. And we'd work very closely with the Gardaí, especially. We'd be their rescue agency as such, really, on the ground. So on their behalf, we would coordinate rescues with other agencies like the Civil Defence and the Coast Guard and various other agencies also.
Hello, my name is Noel Daly. I've been with the rescue team since 1992, and as a professional communications specialist, it rests to me to be the communications officer from the team. Of course, when I joined the team, we were using very, very low-power primitive walkie-talkies. Mobile phones were non-existent. Technology is very important this day because a lot of hill walkers are using the very advanced technology. They're all using handheld GPS with very, very good accuracies, and even the call-outs now, the response time has got so fast that people get themselves into trouble so fast now that we've got to get out there fast. Well, we're using modern technology here ourselves that a lot of commercial organisations would use, including, you can see here, this is a tracking software where we track the GPS transmissions from walkie-talkies that we have. And I suppose we can't stress enough how important it is as the conduit between the base operations people here and the people on the hill. We get information back from people on the hill that are searching. We feed that back to the incident management people. They make the decisions and pass it back on for any change of plan. If a helicopter does come into the area, we communicate with the helicopter through our mountain rescue channels. They come in, we tell them what to do, pick up parties, drop them off somewhere else. And of course they'll be doing their own searching as well using their technology. But in a lot of cases everything gets directed from here.
My role is to keep a record of comms of the people that are in different parties to keep the team leader, keep him updated with what's going on, and to keep all the grid references of where the teams are at the time, all the relevant information. When it's needed, it's there.
Mostly I would prefer the technical end. I'm a climber, really, a mountaineer. I like to get up into the steep areas. And although we don't get that many steep rescues, we have to be prepared for it. So I think 12 of us, possibly 13, have been trained up into what's called technical rope rescue. So we're able to put in all the systems that are needed to get somebody out of a very steep environment.
The technical rescue element would be my speciality, especially operating on steep ground and cliffs and getting people off that type of ground would certainly be my area of speciality.
The team has seen a fairly steady increase over the years. So in the 80s it would have been maybe one a month. In the 90s it was maybe one every fortnight, you know. After 2000 it was one a week, and in the last couple of years we've had 60, and this year I'd say we probably touched the 70 call-outs, you know, so it's been quite intense.
We'll probably have a slightly different definition of a successful rescue than what most people would think, in that for us it's everybody getting off the hill safely.
The relief is fantastic when it's successful. Just actually finding them, because people on the hill, you know, once they're found, that is most of the job done well.
For us, that's a successful rescue, and it's I suppose the thrill out there on the mountain is one thing, but then getting down safely at the end of it, and you know, there's the whole team bonding element of it as well, which is very important after a stressful instance. Is that you know, we keep contact with each other and make sure that we're all okay.
One of the things that we decided as a team was that the welfare of our members was extremely important, was of vital importance. If we couldn't take care of the welfare of our own people, we weren't much good to the general public. So after critical incidents, and there tend to be incidents where maybe there's been a fatality or a serious injury or anything that can affect somebody's emotional welfare in particular, we have a process that involves peer support and also professional counselling.
It's a good feeling. Depending on the outcome, of course, you know, we often are called in to search for despondents, and you know, that can be quite sad. when there's a find, and sadder still when there's not a find. So you wouldn't exactly be elated leaving something like that, but when we do find someone and have rescued them and they've been airlifted or evacuated by ambulance after a good long stretcher carry out, yeah, there's a good buzz after something like that.
It's a very demanding, being a member of the team is very demanding on time especially, and it's the sort of thing I suppose you take on being a member of the team, and it's the only thing you can take on really as a hobby, because it's almost a job as such. It takes so much out of your life, but it gives so much back as well. It's very rewarding to be a team member, and it's a lot of fun as well at the end of the day, but you get out of it what you put in.
Being involved in the outdoor community, it's nice to give something back and to help the community and help promote it and develop it in whatever way we can.
It costs about €50,000 every year to run the team, and that covers things like the running costs of our vehicles, responding to operations, training costs, insurance costs, the replacement of equipment. So team members, although they respond to incidents on the hill, also are available and participating in significant fundraising events during the year.
I suppose certainly we always hear stories of the old days when things were better and more fun, but that's kind of rose-tinted glasses sometimes. But the rescue team has definitely become a lot more professional. We do a professional job as volunteers, and we're audited to a high level, and we're expected to perform to standards, and that's a good thing because it puts in good standards of practice that we adhere to. So certainly things are a lot more regimented, a lot more structured, and you know, that has its upsides and its downsides. It certainly means that we can provide a better standard of care to our casualties. But of course, it also means there's more restrictions and more demand on our time, because the demand for training is much higher, and that obviously impacts on people's daily lives as well, and the commitment is much more these days than it used to be in the past.